So it's after Christmas, after CES, there's not really a lot of handhelds going on right now, except for the Odin 2 Portal, so we're going to look at something a little bit different. There is all kinds of accessories that you can use with your handhelds, but one that I've actually never looked at before is portable monitors, like this one from Arzopa. This is a 16.1 inch screen, 1080p, 144Hz refresh rate, HDR, and all of that fun stuff. So let's see how it is for those of you that want to use portable monitors. Hey everyone, and welcome back to Joey's Retro Handhelds. I'm Joey, and today we're going to go down the portable monitor rabbit hole with Arzopa. Arzopa sent me this during the Christmas break, so I've been using it for quite a while. And then I saw them at CES and their whole entire lineup of portable monitors. They have a ton of them, and one for every situation. But today we're going to look at the Z1FC model, and it retails for $106 US. I'll be honest, I actually have never needed a portable monitor. I usually play on my couch with my handhelds in my hands, so it's never been a position or a time where I would use one of these. But I actually do use one when I'm filming, so I can see my sexy self and make sure that I'm still in frame and my camera is recording and all of that sort of thing, but not so much for gaming. I gotta say though, I was actually surprised at how well this works. So first off, port-wise, we have two USB-C ports and a mini HDMI port. So you have a few options here for connectivity. For devices that don't have video out through USB-C, like let's say the PS5 or the Xbox, you can just use the included mini HDMI to HDMI cable and connect it that way. And then just plug in a USB-C cable to the wall to get power to the monitor, and it's super easy and off you go. However, what was cooler to me and more relevant to us is you can actually power the monitor off a single USB-C cable. So, for example, you just go USB-C from your Retroid Pocket 5 right to the portable monitor, and it'll grab power from the Retroid Pocket 5. Now, you might be curious what the battery hit is on something like this, and I did a few tests. You might remember with my Retroid Pocket 5, I tested getting 3 hours and 35 minutes on battery playing GameCube or PS2 at a 3x resolution. Well, with the external monitor attached, the battery was basically exactly an hour. So powering the external monitor eats up quite a bit of juice on its own. Now, there is one problem with this test. The Retroid Pocket 5 screen just would not turn off when I was using this external monitor, and it seems to be a bug that I'm seeing across other docks as well, so it definitely does play a part in these results. However, the good thing is you can connect a second USB-C cable from the monitor to power, and that'll power and charge both the monitor and the Retroid Pocket 5. But if you do want that single cable goodness, you're going to be eating up battery life quite a bit of whatever device you connect. It's pretty significant. On the top part of the monitor are buttons for power, volume, and the OSD menu. Heading inside the OSD menu gives you a bunch of options that you would normally see on a monitor. There is brightness control, and the monitor does get dim, but I wouldn't say overly dim. It's still a bit on the bright side if you'll be in a super dark room. You can also play around with the color temperature if you want, or just do it all custom. And you can also change the aspect ratio from wide, which is 16:9, to 4:3 if you have that type of content. There's also an HDR toggle, which we'll talk about in a bit. I think you kind of get the general idea here, but everything and anything that you need is inside of this. It's a no-frills portable monitor setup. It also includes a kickstand in the back, which is cool. You can adjust it pretty far back in horizontal mode, or if you want some Nintendo DS action, you can throw it in portrait mode and use it that way too, and the kickstand works pretty well for all of those. The anti-glare on the monitor actually helped quite a bit when I was filming. Instead of seeing my usual studio lighting in more detail, it's spread out like anti-glare screens tend to do, and it actually looks worse on camera than it does in person. It is a nice addition though, in this scenario. I like the anti-glare. So I kind of just went around my house and just ended up trying different devices with the monitor. If you watched my Odin 2 Portal live stream, you saw me use it there as well. So just kind of walking around, seeing what I could use it with. First up was handhelds, of course, and I had the Retroid Pocket 5, and I think that was my favorite way to use this. It was just one cable, and it can be a longer one if you need it to be, and then you can just use your Retroid Pocket 5 with it and not need a Bluetooth controller or anything. You can just use it. The Anbernic RG Cube XX was a similar experience, even with MUOS, and in this scenario, I had it set to 4:3 to get a non-stretched image on the monitor. I'm actually still on an older build of MUOS here, so I'm not sure if you can adjust to 16:9 or anything in the newer builds, but it would be worth checking out. The Anbernic RG406H was a similar experience. It showed up as 4:3 on the monitor, and I couldn't find a way to change that. Now, keep in mind with the 406H, you can't charge and do video out at the same time. It is a limitation of the processor inside, so you have to pick one. Headed off into my basement to try out some HDR with my PS5, the Xbox, and the Nvidia Shield Pro. First up on the PS5, I was checking out some Spider-Man and then some Horizon Forbidden West. HDR on this monitor is similar to other value-priced monitors. It is not something that you're likely going to want to use or use a lot of. It is serviceable, it is fine, but it is a mediocre HDR experience, in all honesty. Personally, I would probably not use it, but you do have it available to you. But both the PS5 and Xbox worked great, just out of the box. Trying out some Lost Odyssey and there was no input lag or delay issues as expected, and it just felt like a nice, quick, portable monitor to use in these types of situations where you'd want to. My last test was just media streaming using Plex, and I played some Dark Knight with HDR on, and going back to my HDR thoughts, I think it looked good. Lots of people would be more than fine with it, but if not, you can always just turn off the HDR if you want to. Let's sort of wrap things up here. Overall, portable monitors are going to fall into that category of the people that use and need these, know who they are, and the rest of you likely don't have a specific use case for them. It's one of those things where no matter how good it is, if you don't have a use, it won't really change your mind. But in my mind, for the $106 that this costs, if you have a need for a portable monitor, and this matches your specs, I don't really see much faults here. It is my first time reviewing one of these types of devices, and I'm pretty impressed for what you get at this price. I think it's pretty awesome that you can power one of these just off of one single cable. That's probably my personal favorite feature of a portable monitor. But again, you get that battery hit as well. I think if you're a screen snob, you'll probably want OLED and all of that fun stuff, and Arzopa does have that, but it'll cost more. But if you're just looking for a big portable monitor to use with your favorite devices, then this gets a thumbs up from me. That's going to be a wrap for this one. Check out my links in the description to find me across social media. Support me on Patreon if you like my stuff. Come join me on the Discord to talk all about retro handhelds and apparently now portable monitors. And that's all I got for today, so thank you all for watching and hope you all have a good one.